Everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Come on in and let's get this show on the road. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, let some people come in here, and uh, then we could kick it off. I'm not gonna wait too long though. Don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. Let me know you're there. You know, don't be scared, as they say. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a good week. Good weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. Hope everybody got through it safe. You know, anything could happen these days. But right back at you. Tuesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. PST. And I'm going to dive right into it. Tool shopping tips. One of the reasons why I want to do this live is I saw a comment in the last live. I had technical issues. Well, it wasn't technically. I'm blaming the computer, right? It's actually me. I didn't have it on the comment section. I had it on something else, and I didn't see the comments at all. And I missed a comment where a guy was asking about Festool. Are Festools good? And that's a brand of tools, by the way. Hey, Paragirl Life knows how you doing. Yeah, I'm the DIY guy, tool tutor on TikTok, by the way. Go check out TikTok, Calibrate on TikTok. Just look for the bald head brother talking about tools and stuff like that. You'll find me there. You'll also find me on Instagram as well, Calibrate Tools and DIY. So check me out. Okay, I'm a couple of places other than YouTube. But yeah, this guy he asked about Festool, the brand, and because I didn't see the comments, I couldn't really make a comment about it. So I decided to address something around that topic on this live tonight. It's called tool shopping tips. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some tips when it comes to shopping for tools or anything like that. So basically, what you want to do is, you don't want to get something that. Well, let me back up here. You want to always be prepared when it comes to tools. Okay, when it comes to buying your tools, because you never know when you're going to need them, right? So it's better to have them than not to have them. Okay. Because you may be working on a project late at night, and because you neglected to buy that tool in the past because you said you didn't need it, now you're stuck because you can't do anything without it, right? So, in my opinion, I'm not saying you got to break the bank on tools, but at least if you're a DIY person or a serious DIY person, or maybe you need to work on your car every now and then, or do some project around the house, because that's what you find yourself doing, that you have an older home and things go wrong, things break. You want to have a good supply, right? Nobody says you have to be like Home Depot in your garage, but at least have the basic tools there. And I went over that in the past, hammer, drill, a couple of screwdrivers, all that stuff. Yeah, and if you're going to be cutting wood, of course, circular saws, things of the like, right? We can go on and on about that. But yeah, so it's better to have them than not to have them. Okay, so I would suggest if you go to a hardware store, or even in your neighborhood, you may have a neighbor or something selling tools like down the street. You're having a garage sale or something. Always look for clearances, bargains, places where that they're going to have sales, stuff like that, so you won't break the bank on them. Okay. And back to the guy's comment, so I won't stray too far into it without addressing that. He asked about Festool. Festool is a very high-end brand of tools. Okay, I think the company's out of Germany or something like that. Two German guys founded it a long time ago, and they combined their names together. And one began with an F, the other began with an S, and they made it Festool, whatever. Okay, but these guys, these tools, Festool is very expensive compared to other tools. It's like, I would say, one of the elite brands of tools. Okay, and why is that? Because they last longer. The quality is just supposed to be out of this world. Me personally, I don't use them, so I can only tell you what I did the research on, and their prices pretty much are evidence of what what the quality of the tool is supposed to be, right? So, for instance, if you like a drill, right? A Festool drill will cost you about no less than $300, almost $400. $325, $375, and that's with the bells and whistles, chargers, and stuff like that. And the cordless ones I'm talking about. And then like a Milwaukee, I would say you would probably spend maybe $180 on a Milwaukee drill with the bells and whistles, with the charger and all that stuff that comes with drills, right? So it depends, right? Do you really need that, right? If you're a tradesman and you're out there in the field and you're every day you need your tools. Your tools need to be able to take a beating every day. Then maybe you want to invest in a Festool or something like that. But if not, then why spend the money? Hold on, guys. I don't want my computer to die on me. Just want to plug this thing up before it dies on me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so you gotta know what you're gonna use it for, right? If you're doing DIY projects, every now and then or every summer is your DIY time. Or you have a certain time of the year you do stuff, and that's it. You're a weekend warrior, as they say. Then why invest in a tool that's not really meant for that? Go get you something that's, go get you Milwaukee or something like that. Hey, you guys see me in the videos. I use Ryobi all the time, and Ryobi gets a very, very bad rap. But for what for the studio, and for what I show you guys on here, that's pretty much what I need it for. Now, when I'm out there in the shop, or as you see in some videos where I'm doing other kinds of work in other locations, then yeah, you see me using a Milwaukee or something like that, something that has a longer battery life, more power, more torque, stuff like that. So you basically have to know what you need, okay, what you need it for, right? So, but yeah, once again, you got to be a savvy shopper. You got to be a wise shopper when it comes to tools, just like anything else, right? Prices go up all the time, inflation, right? So you gotta think about that as well. Okay. So let me see here. By the way, guys, come on in and tell me some of the tools that you've invested in that you found to be well worth the investment. I think Festool I was doing the research on Festool, and they have some crazy warranty times. I mean, 10 years to replace for part replacement, and I think another 3-year warranty on something. I was like, okay, that's why it's so expensive. It's partly because of that, right? And so it's not just the quality of the actual tool; it's the quality of their customer service. Warranties being one of them, right? So, man, if you could beat up a tool and still go back 10 years later and get a part, still be covered. And by the way, you Festool guys who watch, on the replay or whatever, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but according to my research, Festool has a hell of a warranty time on them, right? So maybe it's worth it for that. But once again, if you're a weekend warrior, why do you need that? Why do you need a Festool or something like that? Okay. Yeah. So, but like I was saying, so hopefully that answers your question. That guy who came on last time, and I guess he was pissed that I wasn't answering the comments. I didn't see his comment or whatever. But yeah, that's hopefully you got something out of that. Do what you may, do what you will with that information. So once again, always be looking for bargains. Sometimes I'm walking down the street or I'm driving by, I see those guys on the sidewalk. They got all the tools spread out, at least in LA, right? I don't know about if it's like that anywhere else. They got all these used tools spread out all over the place. I mean, you probably can, probably some of the tools are in decent condition. Let's say you need a hammer or something. Who cares if you got to buy it from a guy on the street, right? Who's selling, he has his wares displayed on the sidewalk. A hammer is a hammer, right? Some people may disagree with that, but a basic hammer is a hammer. If you need that to go finish a project and you don't have one, go spend $5, go spend $3 on a hammer versus going to the hardware store and spending more, right? So, and you're helping the guy out, right? So it all depends on what you need. Don't get caught up in trying to have a brand name tool. Who cares at the end of the day, right? So why? Just like, why? So you can show off that you have these super brand name tools that's sitting in the garage just to show that you have them. Nobody cares about that, right? So I wouldn't have that attitude for all you DIYers who want to show off. So let's see here. So another reason why tools may end up like on bargain tables or clearance sales is that the old tools, right? The old line of tools, they have to go, right? And tools don't necessarily sell as fast as other items, right? So if you have a vendor that's upgrading their tool line to something else, that's then the old ones have to go. So they end up on the clearance tables. I'm sure most shoppers know this. Most people who shop know this. So that's where you can get some good bargains as well, right? So I don't know the cycles of when that happens, right? So you may want to do the research on the cycles when vendors are coming out with a new line, and then you start to see all the tools, a lot of tools on sale. You can walk into Home Depot and see, they always have that section in the front where tools are on sale. So yeah, look for stuff like that. That's what I do. And hey, sometimes I even rent them, right? Sometimes I rent the tools to get the job done, because I may not want to buy, because if I'm only going to use them one time, right? Once or twice, I got a project and I don't use it that much, then why spend money on when it's going to be sitting for the rest of the year, right? Like say the big heavy ones, like maybe a welder or something, a paint sprayer, a carpet cleaner machine or something like that. Just rent the thing. You don't have to buy it all the time, right? It's cheap, okay? So yeah, a lot of people out there having garage sales. Look for those. I guess you can go on like other platforms like Facebook Marketplace, places like that to find good bargains. Okay. And I'm sure you can find some. Oh, you know what? It's a good spot a lot of people neglect. I'm sure a lot of people know about pawn shops. You'll find some really good pawn shops. I mean, people going through hard times. I mean, really good tools in pawn shops. A lot of people going through hard times, they need money, and they got all these expensive tools that they that still worth something. They go pawn them, right? So if you do the research, and I've been to a few, and I've picked up a couple of items that pretty good condition, right? So don't look at pawn shops and say, oh, that's a CD. No, go in there and see what's happening. And some of those tools have been there for a while. People never came back for them, and they're on sale. So you can get some good bargains that way as well. Okay, but don't get shafted by the owners of the pawn shop. Sometimes they try to mark it up, crazy markups and stuff for old tools, and so you got to be able to negotiate too, and have an eye for what's quality and what's you got to know the price ranges, and what's worth it. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I said, don't be afraid to go to strange places looking for tools. Some of these platforms, out here, like I said, Facebook Marketplace, even places like eBay, places like that where you can get discounts. Yeah, they're out there, man. They're out there. So if your pockets are tight, you got options. Like I said, check out the pawn shops. All right. So let's see. Right now, I'm going to dive into some things you should keep an eye on. Here's an article I came across. Remember that guy, Bob Vila? Back in the days, I don't think he's on TV anymore. But Bob Vila wrote an article back in the days. It's called 10 Commandments of Buying the Right Tools. Let's see what he's talking about. Less can be more, right? Owning a bunch of tools may impress your home improvement buddies. Like I was saying earlier, you're trying to impress people. It's always the people, it's always somebody trying to impress the neighbors or friends or whatever. But he's saying you never really use the full range of tools anyway, right? So you just wasted a bunch of money. So he said it's far better to focus on the needs and what you need most often down the line. So like I was saying earlier when I started off, focus on what you need at the moment. And if you can anticipate, hey, you may need this on a regular basis, that's when you invest in the things that you need, right? The tools that you need. And then as time goes on, you will eventually amass or accumulate a variety of tools, right? But of course, the basics, right? Hammers, drills, power tools, things like that, saws, depending on what kind of work you're doing. All right. So yeah, here's another one. Pricey isn't always better. Like I was saying with the Festool brand, right? Or any high-end tool brand, it's not always better, right? They're definitely durable. They last longer. But like I said, if you're a weekend warrior type, you just bought that. You bought a $700 circular saw when you could have bought something far less cheaper, right? For if you're if you're not going to use it that much, okay. So don't be impressed by the brand. Nobody's coming into your garage and looking at your tools and saying, "Oh, look at that." Nobody's doing that, okay. Unless you're going to strap it to the top of your car and drive around so people can see you got it. It's pretty silly, okay. Let's see. So it says don't pay more for the expert tier tools if you're not an expert. Now, if you plan on becoming an expert, or you plan on diving head first into the trades, then by all means do what you feel is best. Try before buying. Okay, pretty much test drive the cars, just like you test drive the cars. You want to test drive tools, like if you go to Home Depot, I'm sure, as you all know, if you go to some hardware stores like Home Depot, and I'm not getting paid by Home Depot or anybody like that. Just talking about off of experience and knowledge. They have areas where tools are set up where you can test them out, right? And I think I did a video showing how you can test the torque on the drill, different drill brands and stuff like that. Yeah, try them out. See, a certain tool may be more power than you actually need for that particular job, and some may be weaker than you need. So test them out and see what is best for the job at hand. Okay, and so yeah, try them on just like you try on clothes. All right. And next thing is to determine your skill level. Okay, how skillful are you? Some tools are so complicated, just to figure out how to know. That's one of the reasons I started the channel. That you spend an hour just trying to figure it out, right? Or other tools are more simpler, right? You don't even have to read the manual for some tools. It's just like you just know what to do, press a button and go. But other tools, there are a lot of bells and whistles, and different technical parts of the tool that you have to know before you even turn it on. And it's mind you, I'm not saying don't read the manual, and especially the safety part, right? You definitely want to know that for any kind of tool. I don't care how simple it seems, right? But determine your skill level, and if something seems too complicated, maybe you want to shy away from that and get something that's a little more simple for you, right? And then you can learn as you go later if you want to graduate up to the more technical tools there. So yeah, let's see here. Here's one. Not all tools are created equal. For instance, a framing hammer can weigh almost 2 pounds, while a lightly balanced finish hammer comes in at only 10 ounces. Okay, so get a sense of the weight of the tools. See if it's comfortable for you. This is not a dig at the ladies. Got some pretty strong ladies out there, but if a tool is too heavy for you, it's too awkward to handle. And for some men too, by the way, some men. So yeah, scratch that. If that's for anybody, But yeah, if it's too awkward to handle, it's hard on your wrist or something like that. Don't just shrug that off, because that can actually pose a safety threat to you, right? If something's too heavy, especially if it's a power tool and it gets away from you, you could end up seriously injured. And that's so, yeah, don't just say, think you can handle it when you can't. Okay. It says heavier hammers drive nails faster, but as you get tired, you also begin to feel it begins to feel heavier and less accurate. Yeah, because you're losing strength, right? So you may want to get a lighter hammer. It may take a little longer to drive that nail in, but you'll last a lot longer as far as holding it firmly and getting the job done in a safe way, right? So yeah. Let's see. Sturdiness is or the weight of the tool is is important. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It says buy backup batteries. It's talking about cordless tools, right? Always have backups. I mean, I was working on a welding project last couple of weeks, putting together some metal panels for a mobile welding trailer. And man, you know, I had to use a grinder, and I was constantly switching out batteries, right? And I'm talking about, this is a Milwaukee bat. No dig at you, Milwaukee, but I mean, the M18 cordless batteries, those are pretty high quality batteries. And those things, you know, because of the nature of what I was doing, they just died. They died in a matter of, very quickly, and I had to constantly replace them. So, yeah. So this is where buying something ahead of time, right before you need it, comes into being. Buy an extra pair. Buy an extra pair. It'll save you a lot of time. You know, you don't have to, wait for something to charge up. Okay. So invest in a good pair of lithium batteries, and 3, 4, 5, or 8 of them. I don't know how many they sell, depending on the packaging or the deal, or but buy a few so you can constantly switch it out and you can just keep going. Kind of reminds me of, like, my trucking days when I was I did a lot of team trucking, right? So one guy, he'll be driving, and I'll be in the back sleep, and then when he's ready to sleep, I'll jump in the seat, and the truck just keeps going, right? The wheels just keep turning, and we don't stop, right? Because we got 2 guys in there. And that's pretty much what I'm saying here. You got one sitting in the back, the battery's ready to go when the other one is ready to get charged up or dies out. All right. Let's see here. Of course, you don't want to buy tools without buying safety protection. That's a no-brainer, right? But a lot of times we neglect that. We don't buy our safety glasses. We don't buy the gloves. And when it comes to safety glasses, I like safety glasses. They're good to have. But what I would suggest is getting a face shield. Let me see what Paragon Life Notes is saying. Was having a technical issue, could not type in the comments. I love warranties. It saves you money. Yeah, absolutely, Paragon Life Notes. You can rent it too first before you buy. Absolutely. Covered all of that, Paragon Life Notes. So yeah, safety glasses are cool. Do I have any safety glasses in here? I do not. Well, I got them somewhere. I got to get more organized in here, guys. You guys can't see the room. I mean, it's not a mess, but yeah, safety glasses are good. But when it comes to, especially the nature of the work I've been doing for the last couple of years, I got a lot of sparks flying, a lot of debris flying, a lot of, metal shavings that you can hardly even see flying around. I prefer face shields, right? Because when a face shield protects everything, it protects from the top of your head down here. Glasses only protect here, so something can fly and hit here. It's just I'm talking from experience. Okay, invest in a face shield. Okay, face shield, kind of like what the SWAT team wears when they raid a house or something. Like those long face shields they have on. Get one of those, and also invest in a respirator as well. Especially if you're going to be doing a lot of cutting and grinding of metal, even dust, drilling and stuff like that, right? Or using a saw, where it produces a lot of sawdust particles flying around. A lot of us neglect our lungs, and then 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you wonder why you have emphysema or some crazy breathing disorder, because you neglected it, right? You neglected protecting your lungs by covering your nose, right? Ears as well. All that cutting and grinding and hammering over time that can affect your hearing. Okay. So you don't want to neglect that either. So when you're out there tool shopping, okay, don't neglect to get the safety equipment as well. Get the heavy duty gloves, especially if you're using a lot of power tools, and all of that. So, okay, so let's see what else we got here. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much the pointers on that Bob Vila gives us, and that I mentioned myself. I just want to kind of back it up with some of what he was saying. Okay. Yeah. So why are tools expensive anyway? I mean, I talked about Festool and brands like that. Well, it's pretty, quality is one reason, right? quality. It's a brand name. They developed a brand over time, and they put a lot of R&D into their tools, into their products, right? They put a lot of R&D, and so you have to understand, like, these tool companies are constantly researching different ways to make their tool better, right? So a tool from 10 years ago is not the same as the one today. That's because of all the R&D and development over those 10 years that made the present tool what it is now. So they're able to charge charge for all that R&D and charge for the quality that the tool presents, right? Mark, and then over time, they developed that brand name where that brand name could command a higher price. So, in the ideal world, you're getting, when you're buying expensive tools, you're getting tools that'll last longer. They put a lot of R&D into safety as well, hopefully, and tools that are more efficient, that'll make your, and I would even add ergonomic, okay? And you can go back and check out my video on ergonomics and what that is. That's just how easy a tool is in your hands, how comfortable it is in a nutshell, okay? So a tool has to be comfortable enough, not awkward in your hands. Otherwise, why use it, right? So they put a lot of R&D into that as well. And that's why over time, products get more expensive, right? Because technology and just the evolution of innovation, to make things better, easier, more comfortable. And that's what you're paying for. That's what you should be paying for, okay? But why, like I said, why dump your life savings into tools unless you're just a tool head, a tool junkie, right? That just that's a whole different story, right? Okay. So quality, reliability, and safety. Okay, so that's if you're all about, okay. So at the end of the day, you don't want to get something that's gonna break down on you, right? 2 months from now. You want something to be able to last, right? Especially if you're a DIY. I'm just talking about the DIY people, right? Right now, I'm just talking about you guys. That's a passion. That's an interest, right? I mean, it's who doesn't love DIY, right? You get to build something yourself and the satisfaction of doing it yourself. So you're probably going to be doing that probably for the rest of your life. So you want to invest in the tools that'll be proportionate to your wants and needs, tools that'll last longer, right? So I would not hesitate to spend money on a good quality tool, right? I'm not saying you got to spend $500 like you would on a Festool tool or something like that. But if you got a toolbox full of tools, junky tools, right? You're just gonna end up spending more money in the long run, right? Yeah, because it's gonna break down you. Then you're gonna have to go buy another one, and then that's gonna, so it just only makes sense to invest in tools that's gonna last longer and more reliable and more safe, right? And that's the number one thing, safety, man. Especially if you're a family person and you got kids around when you're using these things. Not just kids, but yourself, your loved ones. A bad tool can really mess you up. All right. So think about those things when you're out there tool shopping. Yeah, you may see a little cheap power tool sitting over there, old rusted. You said, okay, well, I can restore that. I'll just put a little, whatever WD-40 on it and clean it up, and not knowing the mechanisms of it. Are the mechanisms good? And you may turn it on and crank it up for a little bit. It may sound okay. All right. But until you use it, it may just stop, break apart or something. And God forbid that, a part flies off or something. And, so is it really worth it to buy cheap tools? I would say no. I would say it'll just hurt you in the long run. Right. And that's pretty much with anything in life. Right. You don't want anything that's cheap. Right. Cheap and easy. It'll bite you. Okay. All right. So let me see if anybody's in the comments here. All right, you got a couple more people. Pharaoh Supreme. That makes perfect sense. Hopefully I'm making sense, Pharaoh. I'm not out there trying to promote products that for any particular brand. I'm just talking from experience as someone who uses tools all the time. Yeah. Hey, Claudette, how you doing? Claudette McCoy says, I enjoy the multi-tool I bought and the toolkit you offer as well. Appreciate that, Claudette. You know, Claudette, she purchased the multi-tool and the toolkit, which I have on calibrate.com, guys. So one of the great ways, and she also supported the channel at the same time while doing that. All right. So be like Claudette and go support the channel. Go to calibrate.com and see what we got. We're constantly adding to the product line. I'm coming out with some gift boxes as well, some tool bags, a combination of tools. They're great housewarming gifts, by the way. So check it out. Check out calibrate.com and go ahead and support the channel. Great way to do that. Thanks a lot, Claudette, for that. So yeah, guys, tool shopping could be fun. I mean, it's so many tools out there, so many bargains out there. I just look for them. Just look for them, and you can find some great deals. Labor Day just passed. I don't know if we're in. Some of those deals extend a little bit beyond the actual day, but look for times like this. We got Labor Day sales, Labor Day, deals. You got different times of the year when you really come up on some bargains, right? And like I said, I don't necessarily know all the cycles of how the vendors when they replace their tools. We know, like at the beginning of every year, a new car comes out, or a new car brand comes out, the newer version of this, and prices drop on the older ones. I don't really know how they work that in the tool world. Maybe that's something I need to research and come back and get to you guys about. But like I said, if you love tools like me, because you're able to create and do a lot with them, I always said tools are extension of the mind, right? They're extension of the human body, and that's my take on them, right? So if you're like me with tools and you like to build, you like to create, and you don't always like to call someone to do it for you, you want to do it yourself, Calibrate Tools and DIY. They got some great bargains out there. Great bargains out there for you to take advantage of. And but don't forget the safety equipment as well. Okay, safety is very important. I'm looking at some Festool. I just want to I'm looking at Festool prices, man. I'm looking at a drill. It's a cordless, just a drill now, not the bells and whistles. It's a Festool cordless L-Ion drill, HPC, whatever. Forget all of that. $555 just for a cordless drill. That's on Amazon. Okay. Now, if I'm going to spend $555 on a drill, that's almost some people's rent money, on a drill, right? That thing better last forever. You know what I mean? But like I said, they got those the Festool warranties. That let me see if I can look it up what it said about the warranties for Festool. Let's see here. Anybody know about Festool? Come on in the comments and give your take on it. Let me see here. It says they're exceptionally easy to handle. Okay, so that's the ergonomics I was talking about. They feel well balanced in your hand, and it's also clear Festool has spent time working on comfort levels as well. Yeah, just like I was talking about. Okay, by the way, that is very important. Ergonomics. I did a whole video on ergonomics because I find it very interesting. It's about how something fits in your hand and all of that stuff. And you got different hand sizes and all that stuff. So they had to do a lot of R&D to make sure that the average person with different size hands felt comfortable using their tools. Here it is. Each tool has gone through a specific design process, which means they have been ergonomically designed. And that means one thing. Guess what? Comfort. That's all it means, comfort. Okay. They appear to produce tools that are exceptionally fast. This is thanks to them incorporating powerful motors capable of making those sky-high speeds, yet it doesn't affect the overall performance of the tool in any way. Okay, so it has some high-end torque going on there. I was trying to get to the prices. I mean the warranties. I can't seem to find it in this one. Maybe I'll get back to you on that. Okay. Yeah, I had it before. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Come on in the chat and tell me what kind of tool collection you guys have. You have one or two tools, you have no tools, you don't know anything about them. Well, you can start off simple. Go get a basic toolkit. It could just be a basic toolkit you keep around. You can keep it in your car. It doesn't have to be a toolbox. Okay, if you're not doing that much stuff. Calibrate Tools sells a basic toolkit for you to have. You can keep it under your seat in your car, keep it in your trunk, keep it in your. I mean, it's not a toolbox. It's a toolkit. It has the basics. Ratchet wrench, screwdrivers, and a couple other bells and whistles. Let's see here. Yeah, I couldn't find that warranty information, but like I said, I remember it saying 10 years. You can replace a part. I mean, now that's to me, that's worth the money, right? If you, but once again, if you need a tool like that, right? If you're out there on the job site all day long, you're a general contractor or you're a carpenter, whatever, right? And your tools are constantly taking a beating every day, right? You want to invest in a high quality, right? You're just going to save money in the long run. What's the point in getting a cheap tool if you're doing that kind of work, that volume of work? Get something that could take the load, right? Yeah. So, all right, Pharaoh. What's Pharaoh saying? Yeah. Saying she's about the $555, Pharaoh. Yeah. I mean, I ain't playing. Anyway, I just started doing demo now. I'm starting to experience different tools. Yeah, that's great. That's good. And to be in that type where you experience the different types of brands and how they feel and how long they last, then you can know when later on, hey, that's good. I don't like that, because you got experience, Pharaoh. So that's good that you're getting that kind of experience with tools. Okay. I like Milwaukee. I mean, I like for what I do. And hey, I got my own tool brand myself. And don't be scared to go support, by the way. But yeah, I mean, certain brands are just better than others. But it depends on what you need. Like on this channel, I use Ryobi a lot because I'm just showing you guys. I'm doing little simple tutorials, right? What do I need a Festool for, or a DeWalt or Milwaukee or something like that. Some fit, Pharaoh says, some fit with me, some don't. It's really like an extension of yourself. Yeah, just like I said, it is an extension of yourself, right? It came to me one day. I was thinking about tools, and I said, man, that's all tools are. They're an extension of you, extension of what the physical body can't do, a mechanical tool can do. And back in the days, in the caveman days, as they say, or back in the early days, tools have been around since the dawn of time. They find it in they've seen them in the sites they dig up. The archaeologists, they find old tools, right? And they were, that's just human innovation, right? Even back then, they were innovating tools to help them build, help them cut, help them cook, help them do whatever. The wheel is kind of the invention of the wheel. That's kind of like a tool itself, right? So it's just human innovation. Every time I look at a tool, I see human innovation, an extension of the mind, right? So yeah. Anyway, guys, hope you got something out of this live. Don't be so hasty to go buy the most expensive brand, like some high school kid that needs to have the most expensive, the best brand name clothes and stuff. Nobody's coming into your garage checking out your tools. Maybe your buddies. And if they're into that, then maybe you got the wrong type of buddies, because they're going to get you broke trying to compete with them, right? Trying to keep up with the Joneses and all that, right? You just want to get stuff done. Unless you got it like that. Some people got it like that financially, but, even if you got it like that, you could lose it real quick by making unwise financial decisions. But everybody has their thing. I get it. Some people collect cars, some people collect tools, some people collect clothes, shoes. Yeah. So if you got something from this live, I appreciate I appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and support the channel, guys. And thanks for coming on. Perry Good Life Notes as always. Claudette as always. Thanks, Pharaoh. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but thanks for coming in and supporting and leaving some great comments for me to piggyback on. And you guys have a great night and happy tool shopping at Calibrate.com. Have a good one.